Welcome into the CHGO Bears Podcast. Happy Tuesday, Bears fans. We have a loaded show for you today. Four outstanding individuals. Well, three outstanding individuals, and then myself.
What about two?
Two. Okay, Lawrence is calling it
two. We weaseled our way down to one
Well,
outstanding individual with Herb Howard.
We're like the Bears looking at the roster right now. Adam Hoge, Mark Carman, Greg
dropping like
Greggs.
flies.
Well, Herb is definitely one of the outstanding
I was
individuals.
gonna say, he might be the only
that
one.
new feeling will wear off soon. Don't even worry about it. We'll be down to 0 by next week.
Actually, me too, though. I think I should count.
Yeah, we'll figure it out by the end of the show. Lawrence producing today, as always. We got an exciting show for you, and starting it off right away with Tim Jenkins joining the program. Tim, I got to talk to you last week on Hogan Johns. Now you're here on CHGO Bears. We appreciate you very much. Everyone should be following him at T Jenkins Elite. He's got another breakdown on Justin Fields, just like he did last week. And oh man, it's not much better, is it, Tim?
Help us, Tim. I spent $30 on Taco Bell yesterday, so I'm going through it. I need your help.
You're telling me I'm blowing up your sponsor, DraftKings. I bet my YouTube earnings every week on the teams I cover. It's not going well in Chicago. You know what I mean? I'm hurting with you guys.
It's okay. So here's where I want to start. I thought watching the All-22 and watching your breakdown as well, which was very good. Once again, everyone should check it out. The link's on his Twitter at T Jenkins Elite. I thought the good was actually better than week one, but the bad was worse. Does that make sense? It's like the gap widened between what the good stuff was and the bad stuff was.
I think it makes a ton of sense, right? I think anytime you see those chunk plays to start with like DJ Moore, I think those are the kind of things that are exciting, right? That's what we all expected this season. We expected, hey, big time chunks from DJ Moore. It was nice to see Claypool, right? He finally produced a little bit. We got the touchdown out of him. Now I know everybody's still mad at him about blocking somebody, right? Blocking the corner. But the reality is there was some good on the tape. And that's what's always hard right now with Chicago is it's like, I think people wanted to see such a bigger jump. And I'm in that category of you wanted to see Fields get to the point that he's taking over football games. However, we're still at that point where it's like you've got to kind of be somewhat okay with development. I just don't know if the reality is if that's where this staff is. I don't know if the staff is at the point where they're okay with development or if they're going to all of a sudden start trying to shift blame a little bit, right? We see this with a lot of staffs towards the end, especially with young quarterbacks. I mean, you saw it in Denver, right? And I don't think this is a perfect one-for-one person to compare to, but you saw it with Drew Lock, right? Where Vic and Pat Shurmur were kind of at the end. Okay, hey, it's Drew Lock's fault. We get an extra year. We bring in Teddy, and then all of a sudden they ship Drew out, and now you're stuck with Russell. I just think right now we're getting to that land where I think it's going to be interesting to see how this thing plays out this season. I hope for Justin because I think he's super skilled. I mean, I'd love to see them get this thing turned around. The reality is like you're saying, the bad is getting to this point where it's like these mistakes are so compounding that I just don't know how we really see a way out of it this season.
I mean, you talk about assigning coaches trying to assign blame, and we've seen this before in this city, just the last regimen between Matt Nagy and Mitch Trubisky. And Matt Nagy was adamant that it was Mitch's fault, and at the end of the day, he had his limitations, but then Nagy then had to give up the playbook like 5 games later. I feel like we're going down that same road with this coach-quarterback combination. You break down a lot of tape when it comes to what the quarterback is seeing, but at the end of the day, one of the points I've been trying to make is help this guy out by running the football, get under center. How much can that help? Because it seems like everything is out of shotgun, and I understand that's the wave of the future in the NFL, but do what is going to help your quarterback now is my contention. How much could it help Justin Fields putting him under center as opposed to putting him in shotgun, and can that help his slow drop and things of that nature?
Yeah, so 2 important things you brought up, which I really like. First, think about the first play of the game. Right? Hey, we hit DJ Moore on the big dagger concept. What was that from? It's a form of play action, right? It's a terrible ride fake because it's not, it's like a dressed up play action. It's not great. So it's like anytime you turn your back to the defense, heck yeah, that helps a ton from the play action passing game. So I think getting him under center would help. I'm going to be honest with you. I think the slow drop all comes from the transition to right foot back. Like, listen, I think anytime a quarterback puts that right foot back in the gun, you start getting out of precision footwork and you start getting into feel. And then everyone on Twitter is like, well, Tim, what do you think about when Aaron Rodgers was doing it? Remind me how Aaron Rodgers started his career. I'm relatively certain it was with his left foot back in the gun playing on time, right? Then you get to a point in your career where there's certain guys, Aaron Rodgers being one of them, that you could probably put him blindfolded back there and he'd do a pretty good job of understanding what the defense is doing, right? He's a great quarterback. There's a lot of guys. Think about Tom Brady. He was the guy who started the right foot back in the gun deal. When did he start it? Early in his career? No, late in his career. And you know what else they did? Everybody knows, or I think anybody with like a shrivel of football IQ knows this. Look at the Patriots when they started putting the right foot back in the gun. Their receivers, did they continue to have their inside foot up? No. They put their outside foot up. Why? Because now we're running 4-step slants, 2-step slants. But get to the root of it. Why did New England do that? Did they do it because it was cool and edgy and everyone's doing it? No, they did it because they had freaking Julian Edelman and Wes Welker in the slot. How do you get a 5'6" white guy deeper on his slant? You put his outside foot up, dude. Right? So now they're deeper on their modified quick game. Like, there's so much stuff that we do now in the NFL because we see other people do it. And then we lose this piece and we're like, I wonder why this quarterback who's early in his career is slow in his drop. And it's like, gee golly whiz, you think it's because we ripped away the footwork that he's done for the last 20 years of his life and now we're making him play with his right foot back and play in more of a feel situation with like concepts that he's probably not even comfortable with yet. So to me, it's like, you literally could drop me over there tomorrow, and if you put his left foot back, we're playing faster in 2 weeks. Can I guarantee that makes him an all-pro? No. But I can guarantee we stop taking dumb sacks or our feet aren't tied to our progression. But instead, we're just going to sit here and be like, well, Aaron Rodgers does it. Brock Purdy does it. Yeah, Brock Purdy also has assigned footwork with his right foot back. It's not like, hey, take 7 hops and then we'll see if this guy's open. So to me, there's stuff that it's like so frustrating because I think Justin is talented. But like at some point, you have to sit there and you go, hey, we forced this kid who we're trying to get to speed up to now play with uncomfortable footwork, and we're wondering why he's playing slower. I'm just like, it doesn't take a rocket scientist, you know? I left college early, so I'm not going to act like I'm super educated, but I know football, right?
Yeah. Well, and that's where I want to follow up with you on this because just feel free to get football-y here because you can explain it better than me. I mean, the footwork is tied to the timing and everything. That's why it matters so much. Can you just kind of explain to our listeners, our viewers, like why that's so important and why switching it the way Luke Getsy did last year with Justin Fields from the footwork he had been using at Ohio State in his first year in the NFL, why they thought that would help him and why it hasn't really worked out.
So people think it helps so let's first start about the origin of it. The origin of playing quarterback, your left foot for a right-handed quarterback. Okay, we're talking righties. Your left foot's back under center, and everything was built off, hey, 3-step in the quick game, 5-step in the downfield game, 7-step in the shot game, right? That's where we started. Then we said, hey, let's back this guy up. Let's put him in shotgun. So we changed everything. So the shotgun clock became, hey, if I'm under center in 3-step, now when I'm in the gun, I catch, I flip, I fire, or I catch in 3. A catch in 3 in the gun would be 5 under center, right? So we did that for all these years. And then there's this guy who decided to win 7 rings. He put his right foot back. The Patriots did it because of their receiving core and their lack of depth in what we now call the modified quick game, which isn't the true West Coast quick game. It's slightly deeper. So he starts to put his right foot back. What does that also enable him to do? He keeps his right foot back, catches the ball, and he spins out all these smoke screens, right? How many times do you remember watching New England play on Sunday Night Football and they motion Julian Edelman down into the bunch set and they throw a freaking quick game out there and he scores a touchdown on the 3. And then you hear, Chris Collinsworth, right foot back. You gotta love it, right? Like, he doesn't know. Nobody really knew why they were doing it unless you were studying ungodly amounts of tape. I didn't catch up to it, and this is my profession, coaching quarterbacks, until let's call it 4.5 years ago of really figuring out how are we going to actually tie our right foot back? Now we're at this point where everyone's doing it. Everyone does right foot back because the greats started doing it? Well, the greats started doing it because it gave them this opportunity to cheat an extra step, meaning my foot's going to hit the ground slightly quicker than it does with my back foot, okay? But what else does that do? And this is the important thing. It gets your eyes there earlier. For a guy like Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, who understands how will Tampa 2 impact this play? And is this backer really committing to the flat, or is this corner really committing to the flat? Or are my eyes fooling me because I'm there earlier? They were okay because they had so many reps that they liked getting their eyes there earlier. I would tell you guys, the worst thing for a quarterback that's young is to get his eyes there early. So now, Justin, let's talk about just some of these routes where we're like, man, why'd he get off the sail? We talked about it week 1, right, Adam? Mm-hmm. Hey, he got off the sail to DJ Moore. He was wide open. Why'd he do that? He's probably there a split second early because he's playing with his right foot back. And then when you see, that backer's carrying, he's not actually going to carry him though, but he's carrying right now because I'm there a split second early. Well, then I get off it, get to my check down. But instead, if I'm playing with my left foot back and I take a true 5-step, guess what? It's going to clear the same way it cleared for Joe Montana and Dan Marino and everyone else on planet Earth who play with their left foot back, and they saw it with their eyes, and now it's open. Well, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, those kind of guys, they know it's going to end up clearing, so they just sink on it. I don't think Justin's there to have enough reps in the professional football passing game to say, I know it's going to clear. Like, there's not very many guys in the league that have enough reps to let it clear. He's definitely one of them. So to me, it's like if we put his left foot back, his eyes will be a tick slower, but I don't mean it from we're late. I mean it from you're getting to the progression when you're supposed to, when that guy will actually be open, which to me is a critical thing when you're talking about a quarterback who needs to cut it free in some of these deep concepts.
That's such high-level football stuff, Tim. I love it. I love it. I love it. The only thing I love better than high-level football stuff is the basic level stuff, because even when you talk about the reasons why they chose to go right foot back, the reasons why they chose to go outside foot up for these receivers, it's because I'm doing what I need to do to make my players the best they can be. That's the basis of all of it. Do what you need to do to make your player the best that they can be, and you're not doing that to Justin. You're doing the exact opposite of that with Justin. You are not making him the best version of himself. You're trying to play this whole complicated thing, and that's fine, but it's not getting him to produce at his optimum level. And if I'm Luke Getsy, all I want him to do is perform at his optimum level, because if he does that, I'm a head coach next year, right? If he doesn't, I'm fired before the year's over. And so he needs to kind of flip his perspective, maybe let go of a little bit of his ego and say, this thing isn't about my system and what I want to do or what I watched 12 do for so long up in Green Bay. It's about what can one do here in Chicago, and what he needs to do is flip his feet, slow his eyes down, and allow him to go through his progressions on a more natural clock, and then he won't miss these digs to Tyler Scott, the seams to Roshan, the sail to DJ. He won't miss these things because he'll be on a more natural clock. You can almost literally see him thinking as he's dropping back. You can kind of see him, okay, I'm supposed to do this, I'm supposed to do that, I'm supposed to do that. He's not playing. He's constantly thinking, and when you're doing that, you're a little bit slow.
Amen. And that Roshan clip was so great, right? The seam. And the coach's answer was great. What'd he say? Oh, it was a little congested, right?
Yeah.
He thought it was like, well, why was it congested? Because guess what? Your eyes were there a split second too early, right? So to me, it's like, it's such a good example. I also think, like, to me, if you could speed him up from a tempo perspective, like I get, hey, we want to huddle, we want to get the can checks in, but if they could speed him up from, hey, we're going to start running no huddle, I think you also force the defense into, hey, what are our hurry checks? And then it also helps him get to his progressions a little bit quicker. So I think there's a lot of stuff that they could do. And unfortunately, it kind of feels like we're not doing it for him.
Tim, for the record, played 4 years at Fort Lewis College. You started Jenkins Elite in 2013. We have not had anyone on the show talk football quarterbacking like this, so it's great to have you here. There is a concept out there, Tim, that Luke Getsy can just push the button that he pushed last year between week 7 through 10. Just let him run. And I'm sitting here like, if they could push that button, they would have pushed that button, but defense is adjusted. You're actually boiling it down to just switch his feet and everything's going to be fine. I'm just curious, I get that you would do that. Do you think it's just that simple? Do you also think, like, hey, let him run and it's going to look a lot like it looked last year?
Yeah, but to be honest with you, I think it's like, I do think it's that simple. I think if you switch his feet I shouldn't say it. If you would have switched his feet in OTAs like a sane person would have done, it's that simple starting the season. Right now, right, I think it shows up week 4 if you flip his feet today, right? That's the reality, is because it's going to take 2 weeks of reps to get to that point. Here's the deal. Flip his feet, start playing with tempo, introduce a little bit of QB run. And I don't mean, hey, let's get Justin downhill and run power. What I mean, though, is let's actually use the RPO game the way it's designed. And it doesn't have to be just run pass. It could be run with the stick route from Komet, right? Like we've seen some stuff that they wrinkled out last year that was good, that was innovative. And then all of a sudden it was like, we're like, hey, let's start over. Okay, because I coached this guy a couple of years ago, Aaron Rodgers. I don't know if you've heard of him. It's like, yeah, dog, did you coach him? Or did Aaron look at you and say, hey, I play with my right foot back, and here's how I'm going to read this play? Like, that's the other thing that we also need to call a spade about in the NFL. The reality is, when I showed up for the Rams, there's no shot Schottenheimer was coaching Bradford, right? Bradford was at that point in his career where he's like, here's what I'm doing, Brian. Okay, you can coach this rookie from Fort Lewis who's just hoping to hang on, but you ain't coaching me, right? Like that's just the reality of a lot of NFL building. So to me, hey, play faster, use some of the RPOs the way they're actually supposed to. Sprinkle in QB run when you have to. I don't want to lean on that though, because I don't think Justin is that downhill run QB power. He can, but he's not Taysom Hill, dude. He can spin it, right? If you put him in a situation to do so. And that's just what I think, honestly, gets you to that point that now we're an effective offense and we're pushing to compete in these football games.
I mean, do you think that the Bears don't want to switch it because at the end of the day, they want Justin to become the quarterback they're trying to make him into? And if he can't, it's a sink or swim situation?
I think there's so much ego in the NFL. I think the reality is they don't. I'm not saying Adam Gase is perfect, but it takes a special guy to like say, hey, I'm going to do what Tim Tebow's best at, right? And I'm not saying Justin's Tebow. I think Justin's way better. But what I'm saying is like to completely revamp your offense and get away from how you think the game should be played, right? Like this pretty form of the X's and O's on paper. Like there's just too many guys that I think are obsessed with that. I think that the reality is I think they're going to put Justin in the kind of offense that they want to run as a program, right? They want to see their building run. And if he can't get it done, they're going to use that as a way to, hey, move on versus saying like, hey, listen, like in my opinion, you need to do things that you can be effective to be competitive. Your job is to be competitive, not put out a masterpiece on offense, right? Like you don't have the guys that Miami has. Right? Like Mike McDaniel can sit there and he can get diabolical because he has certain dudes in that receiver room that allow him to do it. But like, take even the Dolphins as an example. Mike McDaniel's not running every single shot play ever that he wants to run. Why? Because Tua can't rip it like Josh Allen. But somehow he's making Tua successful. That's the point of being a coach, is to help these guys become successful. So to me, do I think they're doing it maliciously to Justin? No. Do I think there's a little bit of pride there of like, well, I don't want to win sloppy football? Maybe, but that's just dumb. Like, listen, I'll have sloppy football in Turkey Bowl as I roast Aunt Judy for another touchdown, right? Like, hey, you got to just win, and that's what we need to see in Chicago.
I mean, do we think that he just because if we go back to the Atlanta game, he's lying on the sidelines. They asked him to run all day long, and he looked completely spent. Do we think that, oh, my God, we're going to kill the quarterback, so we got to go back? I'm just trying to, because I thought that they actually showed this is what he can do. Let's do this. And, oh, it's working. This is great. I don't think I don't look at Luke Getsy as a guy that's got this huge ego that you have to play my way. I don't view him like that. So I'm just still trying to figure out as we're having this conversation what exactly happened. Were they trying to protect him? I mean, do you see that they completely changed the way they were doing everything? If you go back to that point, I don't know if we can, remember it like right now in the moment to what it was then and what it is now.
Oh, yeah. I broke down way too much Chicago last year. And I tell you what, the Fields anytime touchdown score was a great bet for me at the end of the season. Okay, that was the only reason I didn't go broke just betting on the Bears. But, they did, right? The reality is how many QB design runs have you seen? And then how many innovative ones have you seen? The only one I remember from this last game was, hey, we tried to run QB sweep into the boundary, into a bunch set. That's tough. We got a tight field. We're going to load it up with bodies. Hey, Justin, good luck. Those are the kind of plays that to me almost seem like a middle finger to the fan base, if I'm being honest. Like, all right, you guys want to see him run? I'm going to put 10 bodies into the boundary. We're going to run him on QB sweep, and I'm going to prove to you that he can't run. Like, I mean, it doesn't take a genius to say, like, hey, maybe we should space it out a bit if we're going to run our quarterback, right? Like, that's not like a hard thing to say. So to me, it's like, I don't know. I think there is a degree to which you don't want to get your quarterback hurt, which is why I'm sitting here saying I'd rather see more true RPO where he can run it, but also has the throw option, than true get him downhill and run it. However, like, we still haven't even seen that many dressed up RPOs. And like, just, I don't want to go crazy football nerd wise, but just think of the matchups you have. So I put DJ Moore outside and I moved Chase Claypool into the slot. Now he's working against a nickel, right? And you're now reading the nickel. So you're going to put a DB into a conflict position by reading him. And then you have a big-ass body who you're going to run stick with just in case he plays run. Or let's go ahead and pretend they're going to stay in base personnel, right? And now I'm going to put Mooney in the slot. They're going to roll down a safety, and I'm going to put a safety in a conflict spot with who I think is one of the better speed receivers in the NFL. And you can read him, and let's go ahead and put him on a little shake underneath, and we'll run DJ Moore on the bang 8 behind him, right? Like, there's so much stuff that you could do, but instead, the only ball fakes we're seeing from Justin are on designed play actions, half-ass fake that we then actually hit the dagger on. So even if all you do is pretend to fake it, we're having explosive plays. Imagine if you actually designed around it, which is to me where it's like I get so mad because I think football is like such a beautiful game if you scheme it up correctly for guys. And like, I just feel like we're not doing that. Justin also is not perfect, right? Like, we've all seen the clips where it's like these guys are wide open. You have to play within the offense that you're asked to, but we also have to design something that we know he can be successful doing.
That's why, like, when you talk about comparing the running Justin last year to this year, I think it's a different situation. Last year, you talk about him running and how he got exhausted and wore out, and you can kind of see it in that Atlanta game. That was the only option they had. That's what they had to do. That's what he was going to do. This year, you got more talent around him. It shouldn't be the same where I'm running because I absolutely have to do this. I'm running because I can. We're going to scheme this thing up, and we're going to run it when we choose to. Not because we have to, but when we choose to, we still have what I think is one of the more elite weapons in the entire National Football League. I'm talking like Tyreek Hill's speed, Patrick Mahomes' arms. I think Justin's ability to run the ball is one of the absolute elite weapons in the entire league. Not using it is foolish to me.
I completely agree. And I'm trying to figure out what the hell happened. Like, where did they just pivot back?
Well, this is like the equivalent of like if the Falcons didn't throw Bijan Robinson the ball. Like, he's really good at catching it, so they throw it to him. Or like Tyreek Hill's the fastest maniac there is. Let's just keep him underneath and never have him run and go. Like, that's like really what this is the equivalent of. Like, you have the best, most dynamic rushing quarterback in the league, and you're just not going to use it. It makes no sense to me. And oh, by the way, Tim, they're pretty good at outside zone run too, and I don't know where the hell that's been the last 2 weeks. And by the way, with a handful of times they've run it, they've had a lot of success.
My last thing I'm going to say, railing on this coaching staff, because I feel bad doing it. Even if, let's say hypothetically, they do want to get Justin to that prototypical guy, right? They don't want to run him. Let's just say hypothetically they want to protect him. That's where they're at. What were their two biggest plays this last game? It was toss, right? And it was the DJ Moore play to start. What were both of those plays? They were can checks. Hey, can, right? We got the look we wanted. We ran away from the Afro safety, right? Away from rotation, run away from that safety. Okay, the other one was single high, can. We canned it to the pass to DJ Moore. If your goal is to get him to that point, that's the other thing that pisses me off. So you're telling me we had like a limited amount of checks, so the kid shows he can do it. Let's get in the kill packages as often as possible. If that's really where you want to get him, hey, I want him to be like Aaron Rodgers, who gets us in and out of the right play at the line of scrimmage, and we've seen him do it twice for giant chunk plays, do it. If we'd have seen it 14 times where Justin canned it and the run play was miserable, yeah, don't do it, because obviously you're not seeing it correctly. But it's like you saw it twice. One was a single high, hey, we're going to can it to the pass, right? Run to pass. The other one was probably a run to run away from rotation, and he got him into the perfect look twice. If that's where you want to go with him, do more of it. And then, we could say to their credit, this was the first time they did it, so maybe we see more of it this week, right? But that's the true test, is like if that's really where you want him to go, then you need to treat him like that, and you need to put the game in his hands at the line of scrimmage to get you in and out of the right play more often.
Tim, last week against Green Bay on Moon's touchdown, right? He showed his ability to protect himself. He switched to protection. He went to 77. He brought Cole Kmet in. He called it out. Like, he flipped the running back over to the right side. Just enough protection. Shout out to Nate Davis. He rolled that tackle straight up out of his face, and he was able to hit Moon on the right side for the touchdown. Like, he has the ability to understand what he's seeing pre-snap and how to get himself set up. He still struggles a little bit post-snap, but pre-snap, he has the ability to get you into the right situation. Give him the freedom to do it and let him execute.
And then imagine if we did it with everything we've talked about on this, where it's like hey, we're going to have a 15-play can package. Right? So it's really 30 plays, but it's 15, hey, we're going to can it to this. And you go fast. So it's like we go with tempo to where, hey, we force the defense. Show us what you're going to do. Right side hut, Y20, Y20, hut. Boom. We know what you're going to do. Hey, can or don't. We have 28 seconds left on the play clock because we're going at a great tempo. We're going to force you in a simplified look. So it doesn't even matter if you know what we're doing. And then now simplify his feet with the left foot back so he plays on time. It's like this is the recipe to get this thing rolling. And then to me, it's like, if you do all this, hey, we switch his feet so we can play on time. We give you the can package. We play with tempo. We introduce
now you
some
know
RPO.
he ain't shit. You can move on.
Exactly. And then he sucks. Okay, move on. But the fact that we're going to try to make a call on this kid doing everything that it feels like is kind of not his strength, that's where I get frustrated, because it's like, I feel like we're running off another decently talented quarterback in a city that, like, if my Twitter mentions are any indication of how y'all feel, have been like hurting for a quarterback since old Smokin' Jay. Smokin' Jay doesn't look that bad right now.
Don't carve that.
Yeah. Bring back Josh McCown.
Let's not.
All right. So, Tim, the drill that quarterbacks play at camp where they throw it in the net from like 50 yards out. Who's winning that drill, you or JT O'Sullivan?
I'd like to say me now because JT's getting older. But, I mean, dude, that guy grinded it out in the league. You want to talk about somebody who lived, I mean, he grinded it. That's a different deal.
We as Bears fans, we appreciate both of you guys. I understand you guys are competition at the end of the day, but I think there's room for everybody in this space. The one question I did want to ask you against JT O'Sullivan, you guys both said something very similar, but in different aspects on Twitter on Sunday. He said, I don't think they have a true number one wide receiver. There, I said it. Or a decent number two wide receiver. Or an NFL quality tight end. You were the complete opposite. You said DJ Moore is absolutely a number one in the NFL. Kmet can ball. Claypool and Mooney can both play. What would you say to somebody that thinks that this team doesn't have a true number one or good weapons around Justin Fields?
Yeah, I mean, like, if I'm going to be honest, I think part of it's verbiage. I'm guessing he's saying true one because he's like somebody who just dominates a game like Tyreek Hill. The reality is like, I suffered through watching way too much Panthers last year. DJ Moore, I mean, listen, he had 6 catches for 100-something yards in an offense that I don't think is trying to get him the football, right? Like, DJ Moore's a 1. Kmet last year.
That sounds so bad.
Right? I watched a lot of Bears last year. Kmet can play. How many times did we see him run the middle of the field and gash people? To me, Mooney, like, put Mooney as the 3. I'm trying to like think through like Denver. Like Denver, you have Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, and then it's like I don't know. We have Mooney, right, who can go stretch the field vertically. And then to me, like Chase Claypool, like, listen, I get his Chicago career hasn't done what we all wanted him to do when this trade was announced last year. But like, let's take a peek back at what he did in Pittsburgh. Like, if we put him in a situation, he's going to be able to play well. And like, you also have to enjoy some guys who sit up there and say, listen, I've been playing like garbage and I'm going to give you guys, I'm going to fix it, right? That's basically what Claypool said. Like, now, did he completely fix it? No. Do I think that you got to appreciate in a locker room when someone tells you the truth, which is I've been playing poorly and I'm going to fix it? Yeah. So to me, it's like, I think I just think there's a narrative that the people that want it to not be Fields are saying, you can say Fields is struggling, but also own up to the fact that let's not pretend like this supporting cast is, what Brady had in New England some years where you couldn't even name a receiver, right? Like, that's not what it is. These guys, they've got dudes that can play. DJ Moore, the reality too is if we work off the sail to one of the in routes where he's wide open, which is what Justin should have done, like, he's looking at like 7 for 135. Like, yeah, DJ Moore's a 1. I don't know. Like, I mean, I'd go to my grave talking about DJ Moore because I just think I also think he's an ultra competitive person. Like, last year killed him with Carolina. I could only imagine how he feels right now. And to me, it's like, I respect a lot of guys. I think a lot of guys have different opinions. I would just be one where it's like, I think the supporting cast, I don't think they're Miami level, but like, if you talk about if there's a tier 1 and a tier 2 and a tier 3, 4, 5, they're 2. And I think they could be 1 if you start factoring, if, some of these backs come alive. And then if you count Justin's legs as like kind of a supporting cast, right? Because he is a dynamic runner. I just think these guys are, I don't think it's on them.
Tim, we really appreciate the time, and we know that you got to get out of here. We're moving along here, but for 10 seconds, do you think Beja can play or no?
I would say yes, but it's because I'm an eternal optimist. So we can do a breakdown on it. You guys can have me back in 2 weeks. We'll dive into it.
Well, we'll send you a Meatball Island shirt. You can come on the party to Meatball Island with me and the gang.
Sounds great. I appreciate you, fellas.
Hey,
Thanks so much, Tim.
Real quick,
Tim.
hold on. There were 3 people that just threw in super chats for Tim, and I just wanted to read these out for him. Remy, our friend Remy, for $10. She says, "Hi Tim, appreciate you blessing us with your knowledge. In my opinion, Kevin Warren is the wild card in all this. Who knows JF1 from Big Ten, and I bet KW tuned in to CHGO. But hope you visit us. Y'all hit the like button.
Thanks, Renetta.
Thank you, Renetta. Let's see. Hold on. Chris Gura, $5. He says, I need more complete football nerd takes. I love you, Tim. Your breakdowns are easily the best out there. And then D. Larso threw us back-to-back saying, so how the hell can we get Tim Jenkins to Hallis Hall as Justin Fields' QB coach and future OC? He's needed. It's insane how Getsy hasn't seen what TJ has.
Do you want that gig?
Yeah, I mean, I'd take it for half of the fee.
Let's go.
You're in.
I'm here for it.
Yeah,
Hey,
fellas,
everyone.
I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, everyone should go check out the breakdown at T Jenkins Elite. Thank you, man.
It's good stuff.
There he is, Tim Jenkins.
Awesome.
That's some high-level quarterback talk, and we appreciate his time. It's been good to hear from him the last couple of weeks. Now we got to tell you about a sponsor that is back with us. We're happy about it. With the busy fall season already in swing, you might be looking for wholesome, convenient meals for jam-packed days. I know I am. Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kit, can help you fuel up fast with chef-prepared, dietitian-approved, ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your door. You'll save time, eat well, and stay on track with your healthy lifestyle. Too busy this fall to cook, but want to make sure you're eating well with Factor? Skip the extra trip to the grocery store, the chopping, the prepping, cleaning up. That's the worst part. While still getting the flavor and nutritional quality you need.
real.
Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are ready in just 2 minutes. So all you have to do is heat and enjoy, then get back to crushing your goals. Level up with the Gourmet Plus option. And if you're too busy running around during the day to think about lunch, keep your energy up with Lunch to Go. Effortless, wholesome meals like grain bowls, salad toppers that are ready to eat while you're on the go. No microwave required. Head to factormeals.com/CHGO Bears 50. Use code CHGO Bears 50 to get 50% off. That's code CHGO Bears 50 at factormeals.com/CHGO Bears 50 to get 50% off. I think I said 50 a lot.
A lot of
50.
lot of 50s. All right, step up your TV game with Fubo TV. 140 amazing live channels. Actually, more. They keep on adding over there. Sports, shows, movies, news. You got it. Stream live to your TV from any device. And I think for this audience, what you really want to know, the most Chicago sports for the lowest price. No contract, no cable, no hassles. You sign up, you start watching. 7-day free trial. You can check it out. You can watch the Bears and the NFL Network and the Red Zone and college football. Northwestern's going to kill Minnesota on Saturday night. I'm super excited about it. And then the Bears are going to smoke the Chiefs on Sunday. That's what's happening this weekend. The looks on this set.
Don't lie to the people.
I won't mess up your ad read, but you are bugging.
Watch all your
straight up lying to people during an ad read.
Watch all your favorite Chicago teams, college football, and more with Fubo. Go to www.fubotv.com/CHGO. You can sign up for 15% off your first month with Fubo Pro. Yo.
All right. Something I was supposed to promote off the top. Make sure you're checking out the Diehards, CHGO Diehard. Newsletter was out this morning. You can check that out. All Diehards can get my Bears Things newsletter in their inbox. Today went a little bit longer. There was a lot to break down today. I had this idea. Well, it wasn't my idea, but like, just listening to Matt Eberflus say post-game, and Herb, you were there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were better. Okay. You better have been better.
It's tough to go worse than they did against Green Bay.
But then yesterday he kind of doubled down on that too at Hal's Hall. There were things better. Okay, so I searched the film. What was actually better? And then more importantly, spinning it forward, is that whatever was better, does it really matter? Like, is it something that they're going to continue to get better at as the season goes along? Because, okay, if you want to be like, yeah, we're a young team, we need to learn how to win, we got to learn how to do these things. I think that there's some things that fall into that category, and then there's some things that you be concerned about. A lot of that has to do with the quarterback. It is fair to point out that this was a 13-10 game in the third quarter. Yeah. And Jalen Johnson, your number one corner, makes the play he's supposed to be making if he wants to get paid the contract he wants to get paid. He peanut punches David Wells, the former pitcher from the New York Yankees, knocks the ball out.
Flies 20 yards across the field.
And it flies by like 6 different orange jerseys, none of whom react to it fast enough.
Kill me.
That's not hits.
And the Bucks recover the ball, and the very next play is a 35-yard touchdown throw. Yeah. Like, that game, you can't just be a defense that relies on effort, preaches to takeaways. Like, you have to be opportunistic. Mm-hmm. You have to take advantage of opportunities like that. And sometimes it's the bounce of the football. I get it.
It's a weird-shaped ball.
It is a weird-shaped ball. Yeah. But Jaquan Brisker, man, you break on that ball perfectly. Catch it.
But you're talking about talent right now. You're right. Catch it. Recover the football. Sack the quarterback. You know who does that? Really good players. I know we want to think that Jaquan is that, and maybe he will be, but he's got a little bit to go still. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's kind of my point. Yes, they generated more pressure. Find it very interesting that to me it looked like Flus did call that defense differently than Alan Williams.
A little bit.
But is that you still had 0 sacks at the end of the day. Right. So you created all this pressure, 0 sacks. You got the ball loose a couple times, 0 takeaways. Through 2 games, by the way. So yes, it's better, but is this going to swing towards, okay, midseason they're actually making these plays that you have to make, that the Steelers made last night in a crucial moment to get a defensive touchdown with T.J. Watt, talent, crossing the end zone with the football on defense on a day where the Steelers really weren't moving the ball that well offensively. That's the type of stuff. I don't know the answers to that right now, but when I hear the head coach talk about improvement, like that's the shit that better start to happen as the season goes along.
Yeah, I think they did just close enough in week 2 where they can keep the mantra going, and we're getting better, and we're trying, and we're this close, right? And then you look at plays like you just mentioned. You go back and watch the tape on that drive right at the end of the first half where they end up getting the sack fumble and then taking the field goal. You punch that in there, you get the ball back coming out of the half, you're looking at a different game already, right? And if there was opportunities for you to actually score on that. I thought that was a terrible 3-stretch play from Justin Fields, like absolutely horrendous. And if you perform there, if you catch the pick that you're talking about, you recover that fumble that you're talking about, those are the 5 or 6 plays in the football game that kind of swing it. I don't care if you win a game by 3 points or if you win a game by 4 touchdowns. It's usually about 5 or 6 plays that swings it one way or the other, and you never know where those plays are going to come from. If they can seize those plays, then you have an opportunity to go forward. And so I think, they did just enough, again, for them to kind of have that belief to keep selling that to themselves. But I don't know how much it sells on the outside, and I don't know how long it sells on the inside if it doesn't actually start to come to fruition. I think you're starting to see, Matt Nagy's a little bit salty right now. We're going to get better, and all we can do is practice, and we're going to focus on KC. And cool, coach, don't get pissed, right? We're just asking you, why does it still look this way? Why are we staring at 13 straight losses going in the Arrowhead? And it's like, well, these guys didn't lose 13 straight. Half the team's new. Cool, but you did, and he did, and he did. Like.
That was a crazy comment. The whole. Well, no, we don't have an attitude, and we'll get to this in a second. But we don't have an attitude carryover because half the teams do. Half the team's the same. You tell them
a lot of the key guys are the same.
That's half the locker room that's dealing with this. There's a lot of heat. And a lot of,
and again, taking personal accountability. Don't worry about who hasn't been on the team. Just say, well, this is my watch, and I've lost 12 in a row.
Right.
Period.
And they come into this environment, right? It's not like they bring their past wins with them. They come into this environment where everybody here still hasn't won in a calendar year.
If you want to be positive for a second, what you're talking about, Hogan and Herb, you're touching on it too. Look, if Jalen Johnson gets the ball out like that, and he's working on it, they're going to recover some fumbles. That's what's going to happen. If Yannick gets to the quarterback like that, he's going to get QBs to the ground. Like, that is just because we can't just look at this as pure results. Like, let's have some logic. Okay, they're doing this, so that you're going to see the results that you want coming down the pipe. But I think what's also, when you look at last week, and everyone loved the first drive, you go back and look at it, the throw to DJ Moore was behind him, and he just made a great play out of it. Mm-hmm. The throw to Claypool for the touchdown was late. So which is why, like, you're seeing moments where, like, oh, he looks good. Well, like, you're seeing positive results at times, but you're not necessarily what you are seeing consistently is the other side. So it's like, a lot of times we just simply focus on the result. Like, okay, they got it. Well, let's actually look at what happened there. It worked out.
Both ways.
Yeah,
it goes both ways.
Right. But I do think, like, there are some positive signs with the defense right now.
Can I be positive for a second?
Sure,
please.
No.
Law, you got my grades ready?
I do have your grades ready. You want to talk a little grades?
Well, we can go through this quickly because we got some sound we want to get to and kind of a deeper discussion on the locker room that we want to get to too here before the show's over. But grades are in. My grades are in from this game, and there are actually a lot of players I think played well in this game. And I took the specialists off this because Cairo Santos and Trenton Gill were booming the ball on Sunday too. So they were up towards the top. But I want
to talk to you about that 90 yards in the air from Tampa's punt.
Yeah, dude, that was insane.
Sick.
I mean,
he's a weapon.
He overkicked it, but
yeah, he's a weapon. And even backing us up on the last drive, the game-deciding drive, he is a weapon.
Yeah, he's a good punter. But same time, Gill's been really good for the Bears too. That's proven to be a pretty good 7th-round pick. Andrew Billings. Was trying to tell you about this guy coming in the season.
Mr. Meatball.
He is good.
Yes, he is.
He is. They got him dropping back in coverage one time. Not sure I would recommend that, but credit to you, Flus, for that one. That was fun. He was creating pressure. He's getting in the backfield. He has been very good these first 2 weeks and was especially good on Sunday. I know everyone gets upset when the tackles have, a couple bad plays, some brutally bad plays. Mm-hmm. And Braxton Jones needs to definitely avoid the penalties got to stop. Yeah. You cannot go false start, hold, or what was it? It was false start, and then he gave up the sack on the next one. Mm-hmm. That was a low moment, early third quarter, I believe. Up until that point and after that, Braxton Jones has been on an island a lot, guys, and he's actually handling it pretty well. I think I'm not sure Braxton Jones is ever going to be an all-pro left tackle, but he's still pretty good. I thought he played pretty well in this game.
He just needs a BBL. That's it. You get Braxton Jones a BBL, he's great.
What does that mean? You knew when you said that we were
BBO.
I mean, I remember from Seinfeld, the BBO.
It's a Brazilian butt lift.
Oh.
All the people are out there getting these fake butts. He just needs one to be able to anchor. It's unbelievable how big that guy is, and he has absolutely no ass. And I think I'm joking, but I'm serious about it. I think it factors in his inability to kind of sit down and anchor on some of those bull rushes and things like that. It's like he's so weirdly shaped to be that big and have absolutely like. I'm so sick of seeing his pants like sag off of him. It's ridiculous. Like, get him a BBL, he'll be fine.
That's one of the best analysis, most just absolutely revolutionary moments in the history of any podcast.
Maybe in football. What if Herb's right?
I don't know how you get that done, though. Like, what is he supposed to do?
Go to Brazil, come back slugging.
I mean, are we talking like the Kim Kardashian route?
Yes.
Or like the natural way of just getting in the weight room?
No, I don't think he doesn't do squats. I think he's just not there for him. Just go see Dr. Somebody.
You got to go. Got to get a doc in here.
Let's go.
Dr. Somebody.
Let's go.
Yeah,
does that work if you do that in football, or does, I mean, that
I don't know
seems
if it has real
cosmetic.
muscle in it. I don't know if it has real muscle in it or not. I don't know if it can move or not. I tried. Never mind.
How long until that's in one of Dane Brugler's scouting reports? The draft.
Braxton Jones
Tim
got skinny
Jenkins,
ass.
quarterback breakdown. Herb Howard, butt breakdown.
Yeah, that's good.
Love it.
John Davis, $5 super chat. Herb, bro, you made me look up for my lunch. Man, what in the world? That was crazy. I don't think Darnell Wright needs one of those, though. That dude is huge, and he is off to a great start. I am very excited about the way Darnell Wright has been playing. There have been some rookie moments for sure here and there, but that dude can play. When he gets his hands on you, you're screwed.
Yeah, and I asked Corey Wooten last night if the draft was today, would you take Darnell Wright or Jalen Carter? He doubled down because you know how big he's on.
Yeah, he loves
Darnell Wright
Wright
with you. He said, I'm still sticking with Darnell Wright because he's going to be a Pro Bowler.
There you go. There you go. Also, Lucas Patrick played better. Snaps got to be better still a little bit. They're still kind of all over the place. Got to hit the strike zone more. But
He was rated the worst player in all of football by, I think, Pro Football Focus. You actually, the Hoge versus Pro Football
yeah,
Focus.
they did
I'll
that
take
last
Hoge.
week with Nate Davis. Somehow he gave up nine pressures.
Right, and they wasn't.
I don't know about that. I thought that overall for a player as good as Vita Vea,
We call the shots around here, not
pretty
PFF.
solid.
And I think he was fine on in week 1 too. I referenced the touchdown pass to Darnell Mooney. Darnell Wright and Nate Davis passed that off. So you go back and watch that play. There was a little bit of a stunt from the DN, and they passed it off so well. And Nate Davis just rolled him just enough out of Justin's face to allow him to be able to step up. I think they're playing okay over there.
Rasheem Green was also good in this game. Wish he would have seen that loose ball a little bit earlier, but otherwise I thought he played well. Javon Dexter ended up in my high grades too. That almost surprised me because even going through the film, I didn't feel like I was necessarily writing down 99 too much, but when it was all said and done, I actually did. So kind of a sneaky, quiet game there for Javon Dexter. And then Jalen Johnson. The only thing with Jalen was I have to imagine the coaches gave him a loaf on the play where Elijah Hicks came in on Mike Evans and completely whiffed on the tackle.
That was terrible.
If you look, it might have been Sanborn too, but definitely Jalen Johnson. They
assumed
both
it was a tackle.
stopped. They both stopped assuming the tackle was being made instead of keep running, and then the tackle was missed, and all of a sudden Mike Evans is 20 yards downfield. I think it was Tyreek Stevenson who actually came in and got him out of bounds. So
what was that from Elijah?
It was bad.
I like Elijah, but what was that? He just ducked his head and threw his shoulder, and I was like, really? I just spin out of this and keep going. Like
I could have made that
Push him out
tackle.
of bounds.
that was not good.
I have an outside shot that I could have made that tackle. That would have been the only time I ever could have made a tackle. All you had to
You
do,
got the 13th defender right there. Like Law's just like it's right there. Like
Braggs would have made the tackle. I would have been run over.
Should
and
Jalen
died.
have been shadowing Mike Evans?
It's a great question.
doesn't
I thought
do
it.
it.
It's not like he's only playing one side. He's playing right. He's playing left.
Yeah, I was
but he's not necessarily traveling with the number one.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is they got Godwin too, so I think that's why they went with the route they did. But, yeah, Mike Evans got you, man. Mike Evans, he got the rookie. So, bottom three, Yannick Ngakoue, man, got to finish those sacks. Those are minuses when you get back there and you don't make the play. We'll talk about Claypool in a second. No one should be surprised that Justin Fields is on here. Yeah, we've talked enough about the quarterback. Chase Claypool. Yes, the effort was better. That does not mean he had a good game.
No.
Okay? He ran the wrong route at least twice. He was still missing blocks. I'm at the point where I'm putting that on the coaching. Stop asking him to do things he's not great at.
Bingo.
And he's 3 catches. I mean, good job catching the touchdown. You get credit for that. That was a plus. But that does just because he played harder, that's the minimum.
It goes to show you how low the bar has gotten, right? And so when I was going through the summer and I'm dropping my Chase Claypool, many people were like, no, I don't mean you. But people were like, no.
fine.
And then now everybody's so happy that he does okay. It's like, you think the bar's pretty low too. Like, you think the bar is also low because if he does just okay, you're like, oh, he was woo. And it's like, all right, he was cool. And I thought he played well. I thought he did okay, But I think that getting him involved early allows him to stay engaged in the game, and he gives a little bit better effort. So I think, it shouldn't have to be that way, but if that's what it takes, just throw him a bone, a couple balls early in the game, keep him active, keep him engaged, because I think you need him as a weapon.
Well, George Pickens had 4 catches, 127 yards, and a touchdown last night.
Did you see him split in the middle of that field?
That tutty was nice.
Did you see that?
I mean, how
Sheesh.
I get it. The draft's a crapshoot. You miss, you swing, you try again, but that one's just getting more and more painful by the day.
Two things can be true because I still like Kyler.
I was on the phone with Braggs when that happened. I was like, hey, did you see who just caught that touchdown pass?
It's wonderful. But yeah, to your point,
I'm just
Hoge,
pointing
about
out good organization
on the
versus not good
touchdown
organization.
run by Justin Fields on the rollout, Claypool, the blocking wasn't there. I don't know if Hoge, you hear me?
Yeah, well, I was which play was the blocking there?
On the
Correcting
rollout.
Carm's reads in the rundown.
That's fine.
Yeah.
The rollout on the touchdown by
on.
Justin Fields on the goal line. Ignore him. The goal line
Can't
on the
be true.
touchdown.
Put him in there. You put the wrong ones in
That
there.
can't be true.
Ignore him.
I hate
The goal line touchdown run by Justin Fields.
Your phone gonna go off again?
You still aren't ignoring
I
him.
think he's ignoring you.
Take my
I'm just having fun now.
Oh my God.
Okay, which play? I got you, Brax.
Goal line.
You and me, baby.
Roll out.
Let's do this.
Goal
Goal
line,
line, roll out.
roll out,
Yes.
touchdown.
Great play.
Claypool, but Claypool
Missed the block.
missed the block.
Yes. He tried, though.
He tried.
He tried.
The end of the game, he's
Definitely got it
trying
wrong.
to block, but he shouldn't be blocking until the screen
Right.
comes out. You get a flag.
Penalty.
And that was
Can't
where
happen.
that's where I had a complete meltdown on Sunday. That's been
By the way,
full
on Sunday's
display.
show, I think I called that touchy, like bang bang. Yes, it was OPI by the letter of the law, but like, come on. Now, once I watched all
Mike
22, he was on it way too early, man. You can't block that early.
Well,
on
and
the
then
screen.
I heard that
Oh,
he
okay.
thought it was
the penalty on the
Yeah, I
screen.
got
play.
you.
and then I heard that he thought the play was a run, and that's why he did that.
Oh God, who said that?
That's what I read on the mean streets of Twitter.
Yeah, he was on it early, and it's like you wish they let that ride. But it's like,
But I don't.
You can see why they didn't.
But
though.
to your point about it being coaching, first week it's effort, second week it's technique, and
Yeah.
that's where it's like, to me, it falls on the coaching. When a player doesn't have effort, doesn't have good technique, that's your job as a coach to make sure those things are hammered out, and that's why I lost my mind.
And if
on
they
and you
can't,
could not run it right back the next play too. That could also happen.
that also is a thing.
and once you determine that a player can't do something well, which all players have that,
They all
man.
have
They all have their
limitations.
own skill sets. Then you've got to cater things to what they can and cannot do well. And
Which is stunning to me that we're having that conversation because I thought they had that figured out.
well, and again, my question is, if EQ we know has that skill set, but he's inactive, why is he on the roster?
That's real. You aren't
Like,
going to use
go
him for
find-
the thing he does best.
Go use a draft pick on Puka Nakua.
Seriously.
By the way,
He's playing well.
freaking out. Senior Bowl hero that we talked about one time on this show. Hey, Sunnyside is your home for judgment-free cannabis shopping, a place where all kinds of visitors are welcome to explore, discover, purchase a wide array of high-quality products. Sunnyside is everything you need to elevate your football season. No matter where you are in your cannabis journey, easy online ordering and in-store pickup, great transparent loyalty program they call Sunnyside Rewards. Man, Sunnyside has it all. They got Mindy's, Good News, Cresco, High Supply. These are all the awesome brands that Sunnyside carries. Wonder, Remedy, again, they got it all. Through October 15th, you can head to sunnyside.shop. Use code CHGO25 at checkout for 25% off your total order. One use per customer, not stackable with any other promotions. That's not only for new customers, though. Anyone can use our code. Pick up everything you need to elevate your football season. Again, that code CHGO25 at checkout, sunnyside.shop. Must be 21 plus or an Illinois MedCard holder.
Week 3 of football, DraftKings Sportsbook keeping us up on the NFL action with great offers every single game day. New customers, if you haven't done it yet, you can bet $5 and you get $200 instantly in bonus bets. That could be you, Greg Braggs. Throw down 5 on any of this week's epic matchups to walk away an instant winner. And DraftKings is not stopping there. All customers can take advantage of 2 new offers every game day this September. Football's more fun when you get in on the action. So download the app now. Use the code. You know it. You love it. CHGO. New customers, once again, bet $5. You get $200 instant dollars in bonus bets right coming to you only on DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting PG.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort. Licensee partner Golden Nugget Lake Charles. 21 or over. Age varies by jurisdiction. Void in L&T. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/football in terms of for eligibility and responsible gaming resources. Bonus bets expire 7 days. Remember that one. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply.
Carm, you have sound you want to play?
I do.
You have thoughts on the locker room?
I do.
This is your segment, baby.
Okay, so listen. Honesty is a
nice
good
sweatshirt, by the way.
Thank you very much. You look good too. All right, so
and twins.
Thank you too. This is my segment. If you could just refrain from trying to
Oh God,
ruin it, that'd be
have
great.
at. We'll just sit back.
No. I want your reactions, but I want you to respond when called upon. Okay. So can we hear
Brazilian butt lift.
the Bear? Let me just start there. The Bears have lost 12 games in a row. It has been 330 days since the Bears won a football game. That is 35 days shy of a calendar year. October the 24th, when they walked into New England and stunned us, and Matt Eberflus got a hug from the nice, quiet, greatest coach ever, Bill Belichick, and Matt Eberflus, I think, basically felt like he could never do anything more in life than that moment, and he hasn't done anything since, as far as I can tell. But so here comes the Flus yesterday when asked whether or not this losing streak is weighing on the human beings in your locker room like you would probably think it would be. This was Matt Eberflus.
No, there's nothing there. Nothing there. We are steadfast, we are straightforward, and we are all in this together. So it's coaches, players, and we are looking at a great Wednesday practice and then looking into Kansas City. That's what we're looking at.
So he said no. We are steadfast, we are straightforward. We all just heard that soundbite. Can I hear Jack Sanborn, please, Lawrence Benedetto, about whether or not the losing streak is weighing on him? Let me hear what Jack Sanborn had to say, whether or not losing 12 games in a row in a town that he grew up in, as a guy who puts his body on the line every single week trying to win a football game and all of it, is this bothering you, Jack?
I mean, yeah, I think for me, it definitely does, just because, everyone's here to win, and everybody here wants to win, and so, yeah, it definitely is tough. And, just being here last year, too, being a part of that, I think everyone kind of understands that, everyone feels it, and I think nobody is more kind of disappointed in it than, the guys that are going out there every Sunday and kind of putting their bodies on the line for it. And, yeah, I think everyone wants to win. I mean, the city deserves a winning team. And, but we come in every day, and, that's our goal.
So there's 7,000 yeahs there. Yeah, of course. Can I see what Jalen Johnson had to say about this? We'll even throw you a graphic. Hell yeah. That's what I think about consistently. I've been here for a good minute now. Going through the same thing, the same letdowns, the same, in a sense, post-game speeches. Who's given those? For me, as a competitor, I'm tired of that shit. I'd rather be happy when we come in on Monday where we could celebrate a win. Mm-hmm. Okay. Right. They're human beings. This sucks. It's been 330 days. So, Flus, you can acknowledge that this is bugging your guys, that it is not fun, that they are playing as hard as they possibly can, and it just has not gone well. And that doesn't have to be necessarily on you. So it's either one of two things. You're either defensive about this, which you don't need to be, because you're doing the best that you can do as the Flus, right? You're putting in your effort every single week. Right. And the fact of the matter is that, look, we're going through a rebuild, and things are not easy, and we're trying to get a quarterback up and the whole thing. And, yes, let's just acknowledge it. Or you're just completely in left field, and you think when you're up there that all your dudes are just head forward and it's not bugging them.
But this is where I said this isn't. He's not saying it for the players when he goes to the media. Everybody's like, "Oh, he's a players coach, and that's why he's saying it." He's not saying it for the players. What Tim Jenkins said, it's CYA mode. They're covering their ass.
That's right. And so if you do that, if that's what you think it is, and it very well might be that he doesn't want. No, don't put that on me. You know what you're going to do? You are going to lose your players.
What did Jalen Johnson just say? The speeches.
Right.
I'm tired of them.
Exactly, which is why this is a dangerous spot here for Matt Eberflus. You need to speak truths, and you need to be in there with them and understand what they're dealing with and not sit there and put some BS out there that everyone's straightforward and whatnot. I'm not saying that they're not
they're thrown in the towel or anything.
I'm not saying that, but it's not accurate that they're just straightforward. There is a weight on the franchise right now that you have to deal with. It sucks losing 12 games in a row. These guys are not built for that. Cole Kmet played at Notre Dame. These guys come from winning programs. They've
won their whole lives. They're NFL players. They've always been the best player on the field.
I can't imagine Justin Fields.
Justin Fields was 27-2 in college. You telling me there's not a weight on that guy right now?
I think he's 5-27 in the NFL.
It's ridiculous, and like I don't understand it. I don't understand the need or the desire to come out and say, "Oh no, we're fine." You're not fine. You've lost 12 in a row. Half of us didn't. Half of you did. Can we just acknowledge that you've lost 12 games in a row, and it sucks to lose 12 games in a row. I don't care what you're doing. You go back there and play ping pong. You beat me 12 times in a row. I'm gonna be pissed about it, which is why I won't pay you 12 times in a row. But it's just you can just acknowledge it and say, yeah, it also sucks. We need to change it around.
Is this roster not better than the one that went into New England on Monday Night Football last year? The last time they won a football game.
Yes, on paper.
It should be.
Yeah.
It should be. It should be better. I think it is. And you haven't played anybody yet. I'm sorry.
No.
I don't think the Packers are Super Bowl contenders.
Those two teams are contenders.
The Bucs aren't going to the Super Bowl with Baker Mayfield. No. Now you're playing a real-ass team this week. Good luck with that.
There's 2 weeks left for that attitude he's talking about. There's 2 weeks left for that, oh, no, we're fine. It has 2 weeks left. I think he'll get away with it because everybody expects him to go in Arrowhead and lose. But you come back here and then you lose to Denver.
You can't say it. Yeah, Denver is it.
You're done. That's it.
But here's
for your players,
Denver's
for the fans,
end of the line.
You got 2 weeks left to talk
that's
that
at
crap.
home. Yeah. They're going to get booed coming out the warm-ups.
But let me bring up something that is a little concerning, and I don't think you can get a total pass this week, because if you go into Kansas City and they put up a 50 burger on you like the Patriots did in 14.
Well, they only need 20 more points because they've already got 30. Right? They got 30.
Guaranteed? You got 30 guaranteed?
There's 30. Pat Mahomes gets off the bus with 30 against this defense right now.
Okay, yeah. So, but that's my point. You let this really get out of hand. There's a scenario where last year, they played the Bills and Eagles in December with a crap roster, and they were competitive. Okay, if you come home from Kansas City on Sunday with a game at least like that, which, by the way, should be expected. If they could do that last year with that roster.
Sure.
Then they should be able to go into Kansas City and at least cover the 12.5.
Sure.
Okay? No one's going to pick them to win. I don't think they should win. That's a different conversation. But if you go in there and Patrick Mahomes and Matt Nagy,
if it's 28-3 at the half,
calling Santa Slay or something, and
I can't spend $50 at Taco Bell.
Well, you can. Well, we all know you can.
What you're teeing up was the end of the Trestman era when they were just getting the doors blown off because they were done.
And that's where it was really like, these are moments. Yes, you knew they were playing pretty good teams, but it was like, oh no, this is really getting out of hand. If that happens this week, Braggs is gonna buy a Taco Bell franchise next week.
No, it's not cool, and it's not even unrealistic.
Great investment, by the way, if you do that.
They could easily be 28-3 at the half. I could see that. I could see that better than I can see them being 14-10 up at the half.
They should be able to strategize the Chiefs to the point that they run the ball, use Justin's skill set, try to keep Mahomes off the field, and then also, hey, just don't give up any huge plays. Just at least keep guys in front of you. Let's do that, and let's hang in the game, and let's see if we can
Steal it late.
Yeah,
there's a pathway for it. They need 36 minutes.
I mean, I'm not saying I'm not saying they're going to win the game. No one's going to say that. But could they cover in a great effort? That's what. If I'm Matt Eberflus in a quiet room, that's what I'm trying to do.
But those plays that Hoge was talking about earlier, you got to seize all of those opportunities. There can't be a drop pick. There can't be a ball that hits the ground that you don't come up with. There can't be any drop passes. None of that. Like, all of those have to be taken advantage of every single time, and then you give yourself a chance. I think they could go in there and shock the world, and I think they do. They can flip their season around just like that. Because then you feel good. You come home. You can beat Denver.
You're 2-2.
Go on the road. You're feeling real good. You go out there and you get Washington, and then you come back and you're like, okay, we're 3-2, and we kind of right the ship. But you're talking about a Herculean task they got to go out there to Arrowhead and do.
Is that the 10% Goose Island you got going on over there?
No, it's a little early for 10%. I got 7%. I got 7%. You know,
you just got the 3-2.
The neon beer hug.
Love it, love it. Hey, the Duke chiming in here, $20 super chat. Flus isn't telling the truth and is being dodgy. Carm. Oh, snap. Breaking news. Also, the sky is blue, water is wet, and Greg likes Taco Bell.
Flus, yeah, but he's I'm saying bringing it up because I think he's on the verge of losing the team.
Flus needs to, with the rest of this crappy organization, it was over before it started. Yeah. Well, that's why I still think it's a big week. If they were to go into Kansas City, man, imagine the victory lap. The "we told you so." We'll take it. That's fine. I always love that.
I'm here for it.
I always love that, like, because it's good. It's good for them, and I hope that they do that. But at the same time, it's like, y'all still deserved everything from these first 2 weeks.
You're going to come in there like Prime. Yeah. You believe now? Do you believe? I'm like,
believe. I honestly, I mean, obviously I want them to win, but if they lose, just be cleaner.
Yes.
Execute. And
most importantly, the quarterback be better.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, obviously.
If it's a 4-quarter loss, it's okay.
They lose 35-28, but Justin throws for 300 yards for once and 4 touchdowns. We're all going to be,
could be like that.
Pretty optimistic.
Like, even like the Dolphins or the Cowboys lost last year in Dallas. Like, they were never really in it, but it was fun. They hung around. I would take that. Hey,
go ahead.
Take on the sun with gear built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered for these beautiful fall days that we're experiencing right now with premium polarized shades at an affordable price. Today's not very beautiful, but it's been a nice fall. Shady Rays is an independent sunglass company that offers world-class product just as good as any expensive pair we've worn. Durable frames, extremely clear optics for outdoor adventures, and that's not all because Shady Rays offers the most insane protection in all of eyewear. Every pair of sunglasses is backed by lost and broken replacements. If you get really mad during the Bears game and stomp on your Shady Rays I don't recommend doing that, but if you did, they'll replace them. They'll send you a brand new pair. No questions asked. Wear your Shady Rays with confidence. They have your back long after you purchase. And if you don't love your Shady Rays, you can exchange them for a new pair or return them for free within 30 days. There's no risk when you shop. Their team always has your back. Exclusive for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Go to shadyrays.com. Use code CHGO. You'll get 50% off 2+ pairs of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people.
And get fitted out in the best sports gear around. You know where to go. FOCO, F-O-C-O. The hoodies, the shirts, the signs, the bobbleheads, and everything in between. 2 weeks left in baseball season. Let's go, Cubbies. Big game tonight. Huge. Aloha shirts would look good at Wrigley along with a straw hat, a polo, a bag, everything you need for a game. Set decorations. Thank you, FOCO. Appreciate you. They have donated some awesome pieces for our sets, including the Justin Fields piece, which is behind us. We didn't make it out there today. Check out FOCO.com or click the link in the description below for all non-presale items. Use the promo code CHGO for 10% off.
All right, we got to get through a lot of super chats here in just a few minutes. They'll start with the Duke, $20. You thought the teardown was finished last year? Nah, they said they're building the foundation this year. The first thing you do when you build a foundation is dig a big fucking hole. 0-17, here we come.
That would be a record if we did it.
Bears get the first and second pick next year.
Most consecutive losses in the history of the game, 26. We could get to 27. I say go for it.
$20 super chat from the Duke. T's and P's.
Thoughts and prayers. Jesus, you are terrible at this acronym game. Go ahead.
Well, I try to tell everybody every day to please help me out.
T's and P's, though. Come on, T's and P's.
I did say we should stop telling Adam what they are.
Thank you.
I had no idea.
Who talks like that?
You never
Okay,
heard T's and
you
P's?
read the super chat. No, I got to do them because they won't be
BBL, but I
fast
didn't
enough.
know
Yeah, they
T's
won't
and
be fast enough. But I do think we should stop letting him know what the acronyms are and just let him make up whatever he thinks they would be.
I mean,
I'll do that.
BBL was great today.
Toilet and papers to check. No.
I was somewhere else, but go ahead.
Wow.
Yeah.
Shout out to Tampa Bay. They're known for lots of things. I tried to get Nick to hang out with me, but after the sports bar, there was another bar I was trying to go to.
You don't like having fun,
No,
Nick?
Nick was
Come
like,
on now.
I'm gonna pack it in.
That's a hard no from Stephanie on that one.
Couples
Hard
coverage
no.
would have been
That-
way crazy.
Oh, it would have been. That would have been a must listen couples.
You got to
coverage.
support the local talent.
Okay.
Decent enough time, Nick.
So thoughts?
It's always a great time with her, but that was not going to happen. Sorry.
Come on, live a little.
Carm, the show's not over, buddy. Terrible injury. Wish him the
just sit
best.
down.
To
We
the
don't
guy
need
who
Carm.
outbid me in our auction fantasy league for him. Suck it, Mike. That's not nice. I'm not even going to try with EMA.
yeah.
Don't
Moving
care.
on.
Next.
D-man.
Don't care.
D-Man Shy, $10. I love Tim Jenkins content, so don't take this the wrong way. Just asking what difference does it make which foot is back when Justin is kind of doing a lazy drop back.
No, I think that's why he laid it all out for you, D-man. He laid it out for exactly why it matters. Just rewatch it. I can't run it back like Tim did, but rewatch it. It makes a ton of sense.
It was so
Will
detailed.
you guys, either one of you at the press, all three of you, now that Carm's gone, ask quickly if Eberflus,
Yeah.
if the drop back is a concern or switching the feet. Can anybody throw that question to him this week?
Sure.
I mean, we'll talk to Getsy tomorrow, and we can run it by Getsy.
Guess he's Thursday.
Thursday. Oh, yeah.
Thursday.
Tomorrow.
My
Wednesday.
days. I'm sorry. I don't
Yeah,
even know what's
Tuesday.
going on.
That's all right. Yeah, it'll get asked. Did I read that last one or no? I
It's
did.
Larry's
Larry,
next.
Larry, $10. Another positive take on the plays where it took JF1 forever to throw the ball. Doesn't that show a little improvement in the O-line? Yes, I thought the O-line was – I'm not saying they're all pro O-line. I'm not saying they're the Eagles. I didn't come out of this tape thinking the O-line was the problem in this game.
What is happening?
Next.
Carm,
I'm
like, what are
just
you doing?
cursed.
Michael –
Things are happening.
$5. Easy fix. Trade Fields to Jets. Trade for Chase Young and get Bajan in. True pocket passer with some mobility. Stop with the Fields experiment. Not happening. Eli. $5. Nagy, Mahomes made them look good. Getsy, Rodgers made them look good. Neither coach to their players think scheme is what made these guys great. Me.
Think scheme is what. Wait, Nagy Mahomes made him look
Okay.
good.
Next.
Yeah.
Eric, $5. How long of a leash do Justin and Getsy have before there absolutely needs to be a change at one or both spots? Does it take going 0-4 or 0-5?
I think Getsy could lose his
great.
thing sooner than anybody else. This thing doesn't get back on the track.
Yeah, I know people want Tyson. They want to see Tyson Bajan, but I just don't think that's gonna happen.
That's not real,
It's
man.
not. Yeah,
That's not
I
real.
get it. Preseason hype.
This is ridiculous.
Another one from Eric.
Eric, $5.
I can see Hoge getting a
Flus is such
headache.
a fraud. He's a blend of Nagy, Trestman, and John Fox. Again, these are super chats, not things that I am saying. I think people are just baiting me into getting in trouble.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kenny B, $5. After looking at that Rojo play again, it looks like Fields went through his first read, then the check down, then try to run instead of reading the D. Yep. Guy wide open, throwing the ball. You have 5 seconds to throw it.
And don't run into a sack.
The Duke, $20. Oh, snap, Carm just turned into a casting couch video.
Yeesh.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh.
Ow, chicka bow wow.
So we've got BBLs, we've got Tampa Bay talent, and now we've got casting couches.
It's been a weird show.
We got everything here.
Bears on Kauai, $5. If fixing JF1 is as easy as Tim Jenkins said, is the staff sabotaging him, or are they not that smart? I want to see JF1 succeed. In Chicago, he will succeed.
We've misused sabotage twice in 2 days. We got to get this right.
No one's-
Sabotage is about intentionally ruining something. Like, that's not what's happening. They're not doing it on
That
purpose.
benefits nobody if you're doing like nobody benefits if that's happening.
Yeah.
So
They're not doing it on purpose. They could be ruining him, but sabotage ain't the right word.
Not on purpose. $199. If Fields, this is from Frank the Bears fan, if Fields gets the boot, so should Getsy.
yeah, if everyone's probably gonna get the boot if.
Dan, $20. Carman and Yurko think the Bears will give JF1 another 15 games to see if he's the guy. I think they're sitting at 0-8. They'll know if he's the guy. I think it would be criminal to give 15 games without looking at Bajan. Man, I hate that we're even having this discussion.
Yeah,
Let's
I
come
know.
back
It's only
in like
week
a
2.
month or so.
Week 3.
Yeah, speaking of that, here's another one.
Mustafa.
Yurko and the gang were giving me a nice shout out on their
Great.
show.
We don't care.
yesterday.
Let's move on.
Mustafa, $20. Stop with the Bajan talk. He's third string for a reason.
And let's finish it here with Marky Mark.
$199. Where is my club invite? I'm in since Nick out. There you go.
There you go,
Marky
Herb.
Mark's going to
Listen,
Tampa
hit
with
me
you.
up. You know, we are always on the road at these places. If y'all in these cities, shoot me a DM to my Twitter. I may respond. It happened this past week. Got hit up. Yo, you want to check out this place? I did check it out. That wasn't the Tampa Talent place. It was a cigar lounge. It was really super cool. Shout out to Mike and his brother. We had a great time.
Hey, if the Bears beat the Chiefs, we can roll somewhere Sunday night for research purposes.
I'm here for it.
And I'll shout out Mike Hoffman at the end here. Tyson the Beast Bajan. Put respect on the GOAT. Yeah.
There you go. We are.
Kevin Carlson.
Thank you, Kevin.
Great job, guys. Appreciate you, Kevin. Thank you.
We got to go.
Pet your dog for me.
Great show. We appreciate it, Herb. Awesome when you're here. We love you. And Tim Jenkins, if you for some reason are chiming in here late and are listening late and you didn't hear the beginning, go back, check it out. We'll probably post it separately on the feed or something, but go check it out. Learn some things about quarterback play and what's been going on here with Justin Fields. Really good. We appreciate Tim Jenkins coming on. Happy to let everyone know tomorrow, right here at noon, Brian Baldinger will make his first weekly appearance with us throughout the rest of the season. We're going to have Baldy all season long. Really excited about that. Also have another surprise coming your way this week that we can't wait to share with you. So stay here. Be here with us. Subscribe. Hit that like button. We appreciate you guys very much. Check out the Bears Things newsletter. Everything else we offer to CHGO Diehards. It's allchgo.com/diehard. We'll be back here at noon tomorrow with Baldy. Talk to you then.